Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm doing a face routine and this is just how I do my foundation, my concealer, my bronzer, and everything else. So if you want to see how to achieve this look, then just keep watching. I like to start off doing my makeup by pulling my hair back just so that my hair is not getting in the way, and I'm adding a primer to my face. I like this primer because it blurs your skin. I like to let the primer sit in my skin for 5 minutes. Now I'm going in with the foundation, and I like to warm the foundation up on the back of my hand just so that it could get used to my body temperature. I'm just dotting the foundation all over my skin. I like to do it in sections because I've never tried this foundation before, but if it were another foundation I would be putting it all over my face. I'm using a beauty blender to blend out my foundation. I'm using very soft pressure. You want to remember to always blend your foundation into your neck just so that there's not a line on your face but not on your neck. I like to go pick up any leftover product on the back of my hand and apply it onto my face. I'm applying more foundation because I felt like that wasn't enough coverage for myself. It differs from person to person, but yeah, I'm just going back in with that foundation and pressing it into my face until I get my desired coverage. I like to use the other side of the beauty blender to make sure the foundation is seamless in my skin. I'm dotting the other side of my face. Now I'm just doing the same thing to the other side of my face. Once that's all blended out, I like to go in with the concealer, and I'm just creating lines on my chin and my forehead. And I like to do this because it really highlights those points of your face. And the more lines you create, the more coverage it gives you. I'm adding concealer to the bridge of my nose and then to my under eye area just to brighten it up. I'm just creating somewhat of a triangle under my eye, and this will brighten your under eyes and make you look more awake. And I'm doing the same thing on the other side. I'm using that same concealer to cover up any blemishes that I have. And I'm using that concealer to go over my smile lines. Before I blend it out, I'm going to spray my face with the setting spray, and that makes my face really hydrated and it prepares your skin for all the powder that's coming up. I'm using my beauty blender just to blend it all out. I'm just pushing the concealer into my face. I'm trying not to drag because if you drag, it'll pull the concealer away from that area. So just push it in where you applied it, and it just blends in so good. I love this concealer. Now I'm using a loose powder. This is a translucent setting powder. I'm using my beauty blender to blend out any creases, and then I'm going underneath my eye with this loose powder. This will make sure that you don't crease throughout the day, and so that your face looks nice and bright in those areas that you highlighted. I'm letting that sit for 10 minutes. Now I'm using a pressed powder, and this will make sure that you don't look shiny or oily throughout the day. I'm just pressing this into my skin with a big fluffy brush. To give my face some more dimension, I'm using a bronzer. This is a Physicians Formula bronzer. I'm sucking in my cheeks to see where my hollows of my cheeks are. I'm using a sweeping motion to blend it in. Now I'm adding it to my forehead to make my forehead look more narrow and small. Applying it down to my neck so that my face doesn't look a different color than my neck. To add more depth, I'm using the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer. And I'm just using a sweeping motion back and forth so that it blends out. I'm using that same brush that I used the bronzer with to make sure that it's all blended out. I'm going into my forehead, just to the very perimeter of my forehead with that Too Faced bronzer, just to darken it up a little bit. Now I'm using that Too Faced bronzer to contour my nose. I like to add it to the tip of my nose to make it look shorter. I like to add the bronzer to the sides of my nose to make my nose look more narrow and small. And I'm just dragging this down to the tip so that it all blends out. Now I'm using a fluffy brush to blend it all out. Now I'm just adding that loose powder underneath my contour, on my cheeks, and then on the sides of where I contoured my nose. And then I like to sweep it off with a fluffier brush. And while I'm sweeping it off, I like to blend it in so that it looks more natural. And I'm just sweeping it off from the sides of my nose and under my eyes. Now I'm using some blush. This is an orange blush. I'm applying that to the apples of my cheeks, and I'm just blending it upwards. And I'm just setting my face with setting spray, and I like to spray a lot so that all of those powders can melt into the skin. I'm using this highlighting palette. I'm just applying that to the highest points of my cheeks. And while I'm applying this, I'm just sweeping it back and forth to blend it out. And then I'm using a smaller brush to add some to the tip of my nose. I could have added this a little bit higher, but oh well. And then I'm just adding it to the bridge of my nose to enhance that contour and make my nose look slimmer. And I like to use my finger to blend that out. Now I'm just using a beauty blender to press this into the skin and make it look more natural. So this is a completed look. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe, like this video if you enjoyed it, and comment below what you would like to see next. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.